Supreme Court also recently issued a ruling in a homelessness case. It originated in Oregon. In a 6-3 decision, justices ruled cities can enforce bans on people who are homeless from sleeping in public places, even if there isn't shelter space available. So the decision reverses a lower court ruling that stopped a city from enforcing its public camping ordinances.
Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. Khalif, this ruling here only applies to cities under the Ninth Circuit Court's purview, meaning that's Alaska, Arizona, California, but it sends a message back to some other states here.
It definitely does. I mean, anytime a case is heard by the Supreme Court, it's most of the time for constitutional questions or someone is challenging something that was done by a local ordinance or by some state law. And so those areas, they challenged it. The Ninth Circuit, they took it up, and then this got heard by the Supreme Court. And so, yes, it directly affects the Ninth Circuit rulings in those other cases, but it sets precedent for other places. And so North Carolina specifically, you have places like Charlotte that enacted ordinances here that directly affects homelessness. And so North Carolina has to be looking at what the Supreme Court said. If it only went to the Ninth Circuit, yes, it would have only affected those folks out there. But it affects all of us. It just directly affects them because it overturns the decisions that were made in their most recent Court of Appeals.
All right, let's talk about that here in the Queen City. You just mentioned that in February, Charlotte City Council passed ordinances to criminalize public urination, people sleeping in park benches. So that's despite now the state looking at those behaviors in 2021. So could this now be challenged?
I mean, it could be challenged, but again, the Supreme Court is saying in this case specifically that it's up for local leaders and local officials to make the determination on how they handle it. Even while the dissents are saying that this is an attack on homelessness and this is criminalizing homelessness, if you look at the majority opinion is not saying that it's wrong to be homeless and not saying that it's against the law to be homeless, but they're saying that the judges and the justices in the situations are not the ones that are equipped to make the decision on how laws should be enacted that affect homelessness, that the people that are elected by the individuals in those jurisdictions should make the determination. That's in essence all the court was saying in the majority.
Is that something that's going forward that you could see happening here in Charlotte?
I mean, I don't think Charlotte is a place that will do that. I mean, it's a mixed bag question. Homelessness across the country is an issue that folks are trying to deal with. And I don't have the answer. And I think some of the smartest folks on the planet don't have the answer.
Especially when you look at cities like LA.
Right.
You have 100,000 people in that area alone versus a city like Charlotte.
And it's no easy answer because on the one hand, you want to have a community that's welcoming, that's inviting, that you can go to your parks and enjoy time with your family. But you also, on the other hand, have to have a place for folks to live where they can afford to live. And so that argument is something that's in the air in every city, major city that you could think of. It's not just unique to Charlotte or to an LA or Atlanta. It's any city that I've traveled to in the last 5 or 6 years. I've noticed an uptick in homelessness across the country. And so there's really no right answer. The wrong answer is not doing anything about it, leaving folks outside in cold, trying to find, criminalizing the situation. But I think if I take it back to the majority opinion, they're leaving it up to the elected officials to try to find the answers. And so I would just hope that they can go find the answer faster than later.
All right, Khalif Rhodes, appreciate it.